say?
I feel relief and happiness. Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
New Year.
We thought it's been a little while since we did it, one of our little video diaries, and we just thought we'd let you know how it's going. So how's it going so far, sweetheart? You enjoying yourself?
I enjoy, but it's hard work.
Yeah. Speak about a steep learning curve, I'm telling you.
And all doubts and thoughts.
So we'll start from when we did the survey, and it was a bit overwhelming, I thought. The whole day was a little bit stressful because you're waiting for the surveyor to find out what's going to be disastrous or not, or whatever. And we were a little bit worried about the surveyor. Yeah.
It was exhausting and too long, like 8 hours at least, and I was exhausted completely, mentally.
And we were a little bit scared that the French, French boat seller, French broker, French surveyor. But in the end, he really did a very, very thorough survey as far as we could see. 8 hours is a long day. He was up the mast, in the motors, banging the hull, and in all honesty, at the end of it, I was thinking, yeah, I think this is doable.
I didn't think this.
Elena was worried about the smell in the boat. It was pretty smelly, diesel and shit, you would say. It turned out the shit came from a broken pipe going into the shit tank, which was pretty amazing that the guy hadn't fixed that before we...
Because it's obvious to feel it immediately when they open door. Open the door.
So I think for a few days Elena was definitely against this boat because of the smell, and for a reason. But I was convinced that this could be overcome, yeah? And as the week goes on, and we talked to Clive, skipper, thanks Clive, David in Australia, John in Grenada. I'm beginning to think, okay, there's things to be done. Like the two big ones were the windows, which were going to cost about €7,000 as far as we could see. But the killer was sails. And
which we didn't expect at
Which
all.
we didn't expect, because the sails were relatively new. And then that's going to cause 4 to 6 weeks to get sails made. Although we haven't confirmed that with any sail maker yet. Mm-hmm. It could be worse. But then I thought, well, in that 6 weeks, we could do a shitload of work cleaning up the shit. Because basically most of the jobs seem to be cleaning up the shits. There was a rudder bearing.
Much more than cleaning this.
No, but there's a list of things, but none of them hugely expensive. I was a little bit surprised that the water maker wasn't what they said it was going to be. I thought it was new and just hadn't been plugged in. And I've got a feeling that if we try and renovate that water maker, it's going to be, it could be a bad thing. It needs a new solar panel. What else did it need? A freezer. There's some basic stuff it needed, but in the space of 6 weeks, because of the enforced delay because of the sails, it was
doable.
It was doable. You could see us turning a pig into something decent.
Yeah, but we need to understand how much it will cost and what time it will take.
Yeah.
And we were waiting the result.
So we went back to the boat the day before yesterday with a guy who, again, recommended by the broker, which I was a little bit iffy about. But we came out to the boat and he was going to give us prices for everything, which, like all things out here, didn't arrive yesterday. The surveyor report isn't going to be out until next week. And then we got the bombshell yesterday. We're out doing some more research. We went to look at another cat just to see comparisons. And This cat was $242,000 and it was a piece of shit, really. So it made me feel better. By that stage, I think we were almost convinced we were going to get this boat.
Yeah.
We went
We
to see.
persuaded ourselves.
We went to see another technical kind of lot, and they were going to get us all the repairs VAT free. So I thought, oh, that's good. Didn't expect that. Then I get a WhatsApp message from Stephanie, the broker, saying we have to extend the contract. Come to the office. And which is normal enough. You know, we haven't had time to get our costs, we haven't got the survey report. And then, even when Stephanie said this, I wasn't that bothered.
Yeah.
She said, the owner's got another buyer, we'll find out how negotiable he's going to be in price, how he reacts to having to sign this extension. Now the extension was only for 5 days, till the 5th of January. And it's New Year's holidays, bank holiday presumably everywhere in the world on Monday and the 3rd. So really we're only talking about 2 days, that the guy had to wait, even if he had, he's got another buyer ready to buy, which in this crazy catamaran market I have to say is possible. Then the word comes that he's not going to accept the extension. We can buy now, or he's going to go to these other guys.
Without negotiating.
Yeah, no negotiation in price, 180,000 euros. So do you accept this? And of course the answer was no. We're not going to buy a boat without knowing exactly how much money is involved in getting this thing shipshape, which could be substantial. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, I had the owner's son's email address because he speaks English, so I wrote a nice email. And the reply comes back saying, in a nice way, saying, sorry, but we don't want to let this other buyer go. And my next email wasn't quite so complimentary, but it wasn't too bad. And we get an email from the main man at Caribbean Yachts and asking for the bank details to pay the deposit back, which is fine. I did say at the time, just leave it till Monday to see if the owner changes his mind, because it's a bank holiday anyway. And then another email from the owner's son came saying, look, if you can get your act together and pay the 180,000, of course, unnegotiable in price, because of course we're under pressure now because there's another buyer, then how about that for a compromise? But the contract's still cancelled, you'll still get your deposit back. And I wrote back and said yes. But we've thought about it. And there was a lot of basic stuff in that boat that the owner could have done. He was here, he came out. And the one thing he did have time to do was pull the boat out and paint the bottom. Mm-hmm. So the bottom was immaculate. It was clearly some marks of damage there. It had been aground. And we thought, well, if he can't replace a few clips on the shit tank to stop the thing smelling, but he's got time to pull it out of the water and paint the bottom. And
it's obvious that on the sport side it was damaged because floor is damaged and a lot of signs that it was water inside.
Yeah, there was definitely water in the
Which they
port
tried
side.
to hide definitely from us, what happened with this boat.
Yeah, and there's no good explanation as to what happened to this boat. And the floor's rotten on that side a little bit. But I remember when the survey happened, it was right at the end. There was 2 through holes, one for the shit and one probably for the engine. And when the surveyor tried to turn the handle on that, it wiggled. And the other one wiggled as well. And I could see, he said, this is not normal. This has to be fixed. And he said...
He was pretty shocked.
He said, tighten it. It needs to be tightened and put in properly. But then with Stephanie's friendly technical guy, who didn't speak much English, when he saw it, I saw him visibly step back, almost reach for the life raft. So we suspect strongly that there is something amiss. We suspect strongly there's not another buyer, and this is just some tactic to get a couple of rookies who know nothing to panic and say, oh, we've flown all the way from Australia, we're not going to lose the boat.
But it's a stupid tactic. They can't achieve anything with it.
Well, no, some people might have backed down to it. No, some
can't believe it's big purchase, and it's important to be safe and to be sure you are safe on this boat. You just can't make decisions like this just because they push you to the corner.
Yeah. No. So we're adults. We're not stupid. And to be honest, my initial reaction was, fuck you. I don't want to give this guy money. This is an outrageous tactic. We fly all the way from Australia, through COVID and all the rest of it. And then with
and
a
they
moment...
And they knew this boat has major problems. It can't leave the harbor.
Yeah, like the surveyor said, don't leave port with this thing. So I think they're trying to really force us into a corner and get without... Like, I was going to meet with the surveyor for a quiet chat, because I think he'll tell me more than he said. And plus, in the survey report, he's given us that these through holes need attention, but I've got an idea that he knows what it is. I'll still meet him for a coffee next week. He's a nice guy. And but either way, after the way they've handled this, and would you do business with them?
No.
Really? Like yesterday, when we were talking about getting the boat, it was like, okay, it was 6 weeks.
Yeah, we agree.
Work.
To buy it already in our mind.
Yeah.
And they spoiled it.
We can make something of this. And we weren't really thinking too much about the through holes at that stage. But it was only after the event that it started to, why did he paint the bottom of the boat and not plug a hole in the ship tank? Really? So the news is that we've failed so far at the third hurdle, which is buying, or third or fourth hurdle, whatever it was, which is getting a boat. So far.
No, we failed with this boat, but I think we are going to look for another boat. What do you think?
And I think we've kind of decided, and it's quite...
Because our project is still alive.
Yeah.
We should think about our project, not about these guys and their desire for this money.
So the purpose is adventure. Get a yacht, sail across the Pacific, and not lose too much money. That's what we want to do. And
maybe we will look for the yacht.
Yeah. So the catamaran market's crazy. And it's people like us that know fuck all about yachting. And they've all made a lot of money because of Bitcoin and the stock market and whatever. And so it's crazy. Cats.
Yeah, people buy online catamarans, yachts, just without surveyor.
Yeah, they're buying them without getting a survey.
From pictures or from stupid video at all.
Yeah.
Without looking, without coming here, I can't understand how people can do this.
Well, what we've noticed is that yachts, so there's one broker here that's maybe got about 60 boats for sale. Maybe 5 are cats. So the rest are yachts, and we haven't seen any yet, but I'm thinking that people have got yachts look after their yachts better because they're yachts people. Just looking at a few listings that they had. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay in, we've got another week of our apartment in Martinique, which is fine. There's no...
Nice weather.
No big struggle doing that. We're going to go and see some yachts here, because it'll be interesting to see. And it's pretty much the same as the original plan where if we get something that's good, seaworthy, it's probably going to be worth more in Australia. And then at the very least, what should happen if we can get this is that we have an adventure for not a huge amount of money. And failing that, we're just going to go and play in the Caribbean.
And the problem with this island, because it's French,
Yeah.
you can't register here. There is problem with insurance, problem with not licensed English speaking.
Yeah, Martinique would be a tough place for us to buy a boat. And because of Brexit, thank you Brexiteers, French surveys are no longer good enough to register a boat in the UK. But I have found that Poland is a very reasonable place to register a boat, because Australia is going to be a nightmare to try and register it from here. So we might end up with a Polish boat or a Delaware boat. I'm finding out more and more about that. But the first thing is to find a boat.
Russian, Scottish, Australian, plus Polish.
Yeah. British isn't too
flag.
bad. British isn't too bad if we're in a British island. And that would be our preference, of course. Register it in Banff. And anyway, so this is the update. This is pretty much it. Anything else, sweetheart?
We are going to the beach.
We're going to the beach. Today's the 1st. It's a pretty nice day. And we're going to forget about boats
For one day.
for at least one day. They won't be back at work maybe until Tuesday here. And so, yeah, may as well just enjoy it and relax. Fuck it, shit happens. Yeah? Shit was definitely happening in that
No,
boat.
it's not shit. I feel some kind of relief, honestly. Because I had a lot of doubts when I saw.
She's the more sensible one.
I'm very sensitive.
And what you've got to watch in this situation is
But
to
it
not
can't
get
be
carried away.
smell
with
like
it.
this. It was terrible smell inside, and fuel, diesel, and dirt, and shit, and everything. It can't be like this. It was too much. It was too much.
It smelled like my dad's fishing boat. That's what it smelled like. Anyway, I hope you're all well. Happy New Year from
Happy New
us.
Year.
Let's hope for a better 2022 for all of us. Bye.